Hi everyone, welcome to tutorial 6B of our introductory Python for image processing tutorial series. Now I'm adding this tutorial after recording quite a few of these videos because at one point I got stuck and I want to make sure you don't get stuck. So I'm recording this video as an addendum, and this actually is about adding Anaconda environments. Now let me actually jump in and show you exactly what issue I got into. And don't be intimidated by the code yet, because I know you are working your way to learning this code. But while I started to run this code where I'm importing registration from a library called scikit-image, it says it cannot import the name registration. Now, I looked it up online in the documentation, and when I looked at the documentation, it says, okay, it's available in scikit-image version 16, but that's only supported on Python version 3.6. So let me backtrack. Okay, let me explain what's going on. First of all, to find out which version of Python I have, let's go ahead and type Python -v, okay, exclamation Python -v. It should say, okay, I have 3.5.5 version of Python. Now, why did I choose to work with this Python? Because it works great with my GPU, because on my high energy, high powered system, GPU is used for machine learning purposes. So if I run this, it says default GPU device. It says, okay, GPU is located right there. Now, I took like 1 week to get this GPU running, and it only runs on version 3.5 under certain conditions and so on. That's because it completely depends on the type of GPU that I have. Okay. The summary is, I don't want to disturb this environment. I really don't want to, because it messes up with my GPU settings. So let's go back. So the problem is, I don't want to change my Python from 3.5 to 3.7, which is the latest one. At the same time, if I go and import scikit-image library, it imports fine. And if I do scikit-image _version _, you see that I'm working with version 0.15.0. But the functionality I want is in Python 0.17. Now, I can try to do pip install. Let's actually put exclamation. So pip install scikit-image specific version of 0.17.1, for example. Now, the issue is it's coming back and it's saying, okay, it's not going to happen. Only choose up to version 0.15. That's because, as I showed you in the documentation, the version 16 and 17, they do not work on 3.5. This is a common issue you'll run into later on after writing a whole bunch of code. So how do we handle this? So first of all, let me close out of my Spider. And if you remember from the last tutorial, I talked about Anaconda Navigator. So if you go to your Anaconda and open Anaconda Navigator, this is the screen that you actually see. And the environment I'm working in is, I called it Pi35 GPU. That tells me that it's Python 3.5, and I want to use this for GPU. So I went into environments and I clicked on create, give it a name, and select what version of Python you would like to use. Okay, so you can use 2.7, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7. So for this new environment that I created called Python 3.7, I selected 3.7 and I created a whole new environment. It's like, okay, I don't like this world, I'm going to create my own world. So that's what happens when I selected my Python 3.7. So now I can go back to my home and under Python 3.7, install Spider, which I just did, and I'm going to launch Spider under this new environment, and I can do whatever I want in this environment, and the other environment doesn't get touched. So if you really want to isolate your important work from the testing that you're doing, this is a great way of doing things. Okay, so now if I run the same GPU test, let's go ahead and run it. It should say no module name TensorFlow, because I haven't installed TensorFlow yet. If I do import scimage, it should say pretty much the same thing. Now let's go ahead and pip install scikit-image. Okay, And hopefully it should install the latest version, which is 0.17, or I believe even as of today, May of 2020, 0.18 has been released, so that would be the one that gets installed. So let's wait and see. Okay, so it's finally done, and as you can see, it says 0.17.2, but we can always check it. Okay, so let's go ahead and import sk image, and it should import it. And now sk image version, it's 0.17.2. So now let's go back to our original environment, and I hope things didn't change here, and go ahead and check things out. Okay, so first, again, it says Python 3.5.5 and not 3.7. And also let's import sk image and sk image version. It should say 0.15.0, so you know everything is working fine. And also my GPU, let's go ahead and run it. Hopefully it should return the GPU status right there, which is working fine. So this is how you can separate the environments, and I hope you found this tutorial to be very, very useful, and hopefully you won't run into the same issue. Thank you very much for watching the video, and please subscribe to get more tips like this.